Welcome to the Hilarity Ensues podcast, hosted by Donna, the queen of quick wit, and Jeff, the dean of devious double entendres. Together, they're on a mission to find the funny in life using nothing but their critical thinking skills and sarcasm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hilarity Ensues. I'm your host, Donna, and joining me here today is my co-host,
Jeff.
Donna and Jeff back at it here. In today's show, we're going to talk about, can we really trust online reviews? Now, I know I write a lot of reviews, and we'll kind of get into that, but I'm asking you this, Jeff. When was the last time you read a review and that led you to making a purchase? It was the decision. It helped you to make the decision to make the purchase. Or do you do that at all? Or
I do it all the time after getting ripped off multiple times. Trying to think, the last time I read a review, I would say that actually helped me make a decision was probably about 7 or 8 months ago, choosing my auto repair place. Well, really my oil change place.
Okay.
They're known to rip, just in general, that industry is known to rip people off, and they got rave reviews.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people do that for that reason. When you're going in to get a mechanic, when you're looking at restaurants, when you're buying things on Amazon, the 12,000 reviews that are out there, you're trying to break down whether this is an actual review or if it's one of the ones that somebody wrote it, whether it be for the company, because you can see on Amazon where it says verified purchase.
Right. Mm-hmm.
With a person. And it's funny because I don't do any reviews for Amazon, and they have actually offered me gift cards and stuff like that to do reviews on purchases. And for whatever reason, I just won't do it. I do a lot of Yelp reviews, and we'll get into that too. But I think the question for me is, are online reviews still trustworthy?
Were they ever trustworthy?
Oh, you answer a question with a question. How long do you answer me? Answering a question with a question. Were they ever trustworthy?
Some of them are. Yeah, I would say some are, but we just have to, like we always talk about, read between the lines and use critical thinking when you see the review.
Reviews have also become like modern day digital propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some companies out there, when it comes to a company website and the reviews that they have on their site, I kind of look at it sideways, because companies really can kind of stir it in their favor, kind of lead into their favor. They could have employees upload things and stuff like that. So you're not necessarily sure if it's an actual consumer that you're reading that review about.
Right.
You go to that company website and they have a product and they got like 5 stars and 60 reviews. And I'm like, you got like 60 people to all agree? How did you do that?
A lot of family members, it sound like, friend groups.
But reviews influence restaurants, hotels. I know when I'm online looking for a hotel, I'm going through and I'm looking for 5 stars. I want to make sure where I'm staying, there's no bed bugs or anything like that.
No,
nobody's gonna break into my room while I'm sleeping. There are reviews for companies out there. Glassdoor, Indeed, they do reviews on companies, and I'm gonna get into that too, where that could be a little sus. Doctors, they actually have their own site where you can go through and look at doctors, and you can see where they went to school, how many years they've been in practice, what hospitals they're affiliated with, and patients can actually enter in the reviews. I do know on that platform, you don't really get a lot of data because not many people go in there and write a review on their doctor.
Right. Is that like ZocDoc.com? I think that's one of them.
That's one of them. There's quite a few of them out there too. So I know if you go to any of your health carriers and you're looking for a doc search, their search portal can kind of do that for you. But a lot of people won't mess with anything that's less than 4 stars. So reviews do hold some weight for a business, whether it's a restaurant, a hotel, or a company. But I'm going to tell you this, one bad review I don't think could do a company in, but a series of reviews can really injure someone. And it was like a couple years ago, there was a restaurant in Atlanta, and and someone that worked there said something racially disparaging to a customer.
Not good. Not good for business.
And that person took to social media and Yelp and wrote reviews and posted it. And people got pissed and people went in and started writing these reviews for a place they'd never been to. But they were pissed about it to the point where Yelp had to shut down the page for the business owner because they were getting, and I'm not talking like a couple here, I'm talking about hundreds, close to thousands
Yes.
in reviews of people that were pissed.
I've seen it multiple times. Yeah, with restaurants especially, or just places in general, if somebody gets mistreated. And though it goes against part of my principles of not reviewing a place you haven't been to or experienced, I do kind of feel them, basically like, just show your support, especially if the upper management does nothing about it and it's pretty documented. They got pictures or videos or what have you, or it sounds believable, and they're just called out their name and they're not being served. They're sitting there for 90 minutes, nobody's serving them. So I get it, but they do have to put those break, or what do you call those things?
Guardrails. Put the guardrails.
There you are, guardrails in there, so they don't get completely annihilated, and then they have to review and make sure the story is legit before they let more reviews go through.
Yeah, and I think that person actually had video footage, so that's what kind of amplified everything, and people became really outraged about it. But yeah, that you find, especially with restaurants, when it comes to, and I'm going to talk about reviews, Yelp is one platform and Google is another platform to do reviews, right?
Right.
And there's Trustpilot out there too, which I'm somewhat familiar with. But here's the difference between Yelp and Google. Yelp, if you get a bad review, as a business, there's nothing you can do to get it removed.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. Yelp prides themselves on having actually authentic, unaltered reviews.
Okay. Shout out to Yelp.
Google, on the other hand, companies can pay to get those reviews removed. And I consulted for a client like some years ago. And for those of you listening, your girl here, I am a Yelp elite. And what that means is that on my Yelp profile, it says Yelp elite, and it's color coded to let you know how long someone has been part of this elite squad. And what Yelp does is it invites me to local businesses or new businesses that are opening up to kind of test it out and write a review on it, okay? But here's where Yelp keeps things above board. The page that I write the review on is a Yelp page. So if it's ABC Restaurant, Yelp will create a separate page for the event that says Yelp review ABC Restaurant event, okay? So all of those that are invited to that event will post their review on that page about their experience. If I like the place enough and I go back, I go and I post my review on the company's actual Yelp page. So you see the difference there? It's kind of, whenever you see those Yelp event page, you know that someone was invited to something, they got something for free. They're being courteous in their review of that. And that's not the actual experience. The actual experience is when you go to the company's site. The actual experience is when you go to their site. And it allows me to get exposure to different restaurants within my area and try them out because they're giving me food. I don't have to pay for it. So
sweet deal.
I say all of that to say is that I do write a lot of reviews when I go to places. And I'll write a review if I have an amazing experience, and I will write a review if I don't have an amazing experience. And here's where reviews stick, okay? Where I'm gonna speak for Yelp. Yelp will move it up in the algorithm if you check in, okay? So I go into that place, I hit that check-in button, it geotags that I'm actually there, and I'm able to check in and then come back later and write my review. If I just search for the place and I don't check in and I write a review, I know mine will still get pushed up because of my status. But for the ordinary person, they're going to question whether you were actually there, and your review might not gain visibility to everyone else. So if you really want an impactful review, check in when you go to these places. The same with Google. But I write a lot of reviews, and let me tell you what that little badge does for me. Anytime I write a review and I don't have the greatest experience and I highlight what went wrong and what could have went better, I always get a quick response from the business.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, they'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry you had that experience. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. We're going to invite you back. Please DM us." And I always look at the "please DM us" as please don't embarrass us anymore.
Read between the lines. Yeah. Read between us.
So it's it's been an interesting experience, and I do go places and I read other Yelp reviews, and I see the ones that I'm like, why are you writing a review? Why are you talking about this place is really beautiful, and I hope to try it out someday, or something like that? Why are we doing that?
That annoys me. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because that drives me crazy. I sometimes send screenshots of like, do, supplements or what have you. And it'll be
Hmm.
like a magnesium supplement or a zinc, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. So I pull up the supplement. I may have not heard of it. And I click on, I read through the fives. I read through all of them usually for the most, unless it's like 1,000 reviews, but I try to get through several dozen, if not 100, to make sure it's legit. So I'm looking at the fives, the threes, the ones, the twos, the fours. But some of the threes just really irk me because they'll be like, yeah, I just bought it and it looks like it will probably help me sleep better, but I have to try it yet. I'm like, why the F are you putting the review in and you're giving it a 3? You're affecting somebody's livelihood with your just random ass assignment of a star rating, and you haven't even tried it yet. And then the other
Yep.
one, like, well, I tried it once, no effect. I mean, of course, it's a supplement. It's not going to magically work in 1 hour. Well, I'll
Yeah.
follow up. I'll follow up later, and they don't follow up.
And they don't follow up.
Right. And they got a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or whatever it may be. I mean, it's just so dumb. I think they should, I don't know how they can enforce it, but they should be like, we need you to actually take the supplement or whatever it may be. We need you to try the product first.
Hmm.
Take your time and then come up with a well thought out review. And it just, I don't know, it just really annoys me.
I do read all the reviews, and what I'm looking for is consistency, right? So if I read a review, I'll automatically filter and say, let me read the 1 and 2 star reviews first. Okay. And if I notice consistency in those 1 and 2 stars, meaning, and especially if someone has been there multiple times, because what you'll do is you'll see their previous review and an updated review, I'll pay attention to that. So if for a product on Amazon, I'll go that direction. This was hard to put together. The instructions were not clear, parts were missing. And you see another review. This was difficult to put together. The instructions were not clear. If I see like 5 or 6 of those, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to buy that product because 5 people have already said the same thing. It's difficult to put together and the instructions are not clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Or there was a donut place that I wanted to try out, and I sat in the parking lot and I'm reading through Yelp, and I read like 6 reviews that said the girl at the counter was rude. So I'm like, why I'm going to put myself through that and deal with someone that I'm going to have to cuss out? Why I'm going to mess up my donut experience and cuss somebody out? So I'm like, I'm not doing that. You're looking at reviews, look for consistency. Are there a lot of people saying the same things?
Yeah, I agree. Definitely want to look at that. Sometimes what I like is with Google, they have an option, or is it Amazon? I can't remember which one, but they have where you could search for keywords. So if you can see, let's say you're taking niacin and you want that, tingling or burning sensation, not that sensation, but
Okay.
you want the kind that like burns. That's a long story, but anyway, you want to look it up by what the outcome is. Look at the taste or whatever it may be, and then you can pull it up by each one, especially if there's thousands of reviews. I don't have time to go through 1,000 reviews, but I do have time to do 100. I mean, I will take the time.
Yeah. I think when you were talking about certain keywords being present in review, what Yelp does, especially with restaurants, there's 3 buckets that they want you to address: food, service, and ambiance, right? And while you're writing your review, if you don't hit all 3 of those buckets, it's not going to hit the top of the pile for the review.
Okay, rightfully so.
Yeah. So to your point, yeah, they should have like keywords to make sure that people are addressing, for instance, when you purchased, how long you've used it in the case of supplements.
5 minutes.
So,
Yeah.
I just opened the box. I just opened the box. I
looked at it. The labeling looks nice. I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah, you know what? The plastic was easy to unravel. Yes.
It's so, oh my God. Yeah, that really bothers me.
But here's what I want to talk. I'm going to shift gears off of Yelp. I'm going to talk about Glassdoor, right?
Okay.
Glassdoor is where people go to look for work. And I think right now they were acquired by Indeed, or Indeed acquired Glassdoor. They're one and the same now. And you're able to upload your resume, but you're also able to research a company. So you're applying for a company and you want to see if it's a good place to work, see what other employees are saying. So as an employee, present or former, you can go in and you could put what your title is. You can make yourself anonymous, or you could add your name to it, and you can give your thoughts on leadership. I want to say the CEO, the culture. So there's a couple of different buckets you could comment on. It's one company I worked with, right? I'm not going to give too many specifics on it because I'm not going to out them yet. Me and them, we're having a little bit of a disagreement right now, but they, around a year ago, sent out a company email and they asked employees to go on Glassdoor and write a review.
Mm-hmm.
And if you went in and you wrote a review, you would get a little bit of a perk. Okay. So naturally, if an employee goes there and they're going in because they want that perk, they're not going to write anything salacious.
Right.
They're going to compliment them, right? Because that's what they're looking for. Or if they don't want to, they just won't. And I remember someone asking me, they were like, "Did you do that?" I'm like, "No, my jury is still out on them." So I'm like, I know my word travels far and it means a lot, at least in my head it does. So I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put it out there and have it floating that that's who I've endorsed. And it was so funny. Fast forward, a young lady, she called me and she said, I was trying to get some research on them, and she still works there. And she's like, and I put in what I thought about them. And then I realized, even though I said to be anonymous, it had my job title. And I'm the only person here with this job title.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I got to be careful.
So someone circled the wagon and told her that they saw him, and she went in and she pulled it down. But to my point here, when you see companies that are thriving really well as far as the review process, ask yourself, are these genuine? And also look for consistency and cadence of how those reports. If you see like the month of December, they had one review in January, 2 in February, none in March, 3 in April, 2 in May, none in June or July, maybe 1 in August, 2 in September, 1 in October, none in November. And then in December, they got 50 reviews.
All this time. Yeah.
I would question that. I'm just saying. But yeah, so pay attention to that when you're doing reviews on the companies. So let me see this. If you were to see a review, you're looking for an air fryer. By the way, I have an air fryer. Absolutely love it. It's a game changer. But anyway, outside of that, if you're looking for an air fryer and you're going through the reviews and someone writes a review, "This air fryer is absolutely amazing. It saved my marriage."
I'd be like, "Is this the owner? Come on."
Okay. Or better yet, I'm giving this 5 stars because the package arrived before Mercury retrograde.
What the hell? Wild business.
Hey,
Yeah.
no? Okay. Let's see what else. Couch was comfortable, but I didn't feel safe.
Didn't feel safe. Was it the casting couch?
Oh,
Oh, these are real reviews you're reading me. Okay.
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh, okay.
1 star. The moon was too bright and I can see it through the curtains.
Wow. Come on now.
Sometimes people are overreaching in their reviews. And here's the deal. When you're writing these reviews, and I understand being emotionally connected to something where you didn't have a great experience, but ultimately your goal should be to make the next person coming along a little bit more educated and aware.
Right.
So they know how to prepare for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when you write these reviews, take lots of pictures. I really like when people take pictures during reviews.
That makes me feel comfortable that it actually happened, at least more comfortable anyway.
For example, especially if it's like furniture that required assembly. I ain't assembling no furniture no more these days. But if it's something that required some assembly, how did it look after you put it together?
Right. Final package.
How does that look? Or if you bought a pair of like shoes or jeans or something like that, how did it look on you? Did it fit well? Was it true to size? Helping people out during this process.
Right. That is helpful. I just thought of a review. in addition to what I was gonna talk about before. That was a review about me back in the day when I was hustling books on Amazon. I was new to the game and selling third party, basically. Long story short, and I was buying books low, selling them for medium or high. So I sold book after book after book and was not getting a lot of reviews. And I'm a new seller at this time. I get my first review. First was a 1 star.
Okay. Ooh.
And said, this is an effing library book. That they spelled the word out.
Oh, so, with the ing hard, right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, they spelled the whole thing out. And I was like, what's hilarious about it is me being Jeff. I take notes and I keep track of what condition I put the books in. And it said library pre-owned. So I actually took a copy. I said, this is from the condition note of the book, and put that as that to Amazon to have it removed because they use cursing. And that's one of the criteria to have removed. So I got that one removed. And then I started getting, 5 stars eventually. But I did have another one to share, one of my classic reviews from, I want to say about 15 years ago, ironically, or not ironically, off of Amazon. I know you'd like to say I'm a water snob, but I guess this further perpetuates that myth.
It's not a myth. It is not a myth.
It's the truth. Okay. Yeah. I'm very sensitive to impurity. So basically, long story short,
wait, let's pause right here. Let us pause right here.
Yeah.
You're sensitive to impurity. Okay.
Yeah. Impurities. Yeah. And water. Yeah.
I'm laughing internally. Please continue. Okay.
You got jokes. Yeah. So basically, I bought this system, which I don't even think it's in existence anymore. So I think I could say the whole name. But anyway, it was called a Tapmaster Junior. It's a water filter system that's no longer around. And
wait. Tapmaster. Okay, continue.
All right. So it's Tapmaster Junior, which is a hilarious name in it itself. So this is my one out of 5 star, legit 1 out of 5. This is back in December 2, 2011. So the title was "Did Not Remove Enough Water Impurities for Me." So it said water tastes fine, but the pus that formed in the back of my throat indicates that it's not getting enough impurities out. I'm super sensitive to bacteria and have been drinking treated water in one form or another since the 80s. I know that the unclean water from Tapmaster Junior has caused the pus to form. It's my own fault for not returning within 30 days. Amazon's return policy limit, $100 down the drain, in parens, literally and figuratively. So that was my comment. So this is back in the day when they had replies to comments. So I noticed they've taken that out. The original comment is still there, but there was a back and forth between me and this guy, John S., and then this other guy, Xander, I think it's a guy, Xander, jumped in to defend me. So John S. replies, this system is designed to treat city water that's chlorinated, and chlorinated water does not have any bacteria in it. False. Simple common sense tells you if people contacted mouth pus by drinking, quote, unfiltered tap water, then the municipalities will be sued or censored by the feds. Either this person is not using the product correctly, or chlorinated city water, or they're not being truthful. I'm not a doctor, Jeff, but it seems more likely that the pus in your mouth is from oral gonorrhea, and you should see a doctor immediately. I was like, what the F? I was like, yo, okay. So it was some time passing between that, between his post and me seeing it. But in between, this person, Xander, jumps in, says, Xander, I can't imagine why you would possibly add a comment so totally ridiculous and unhelpful as I'm not a doctor, Jeff, but it seems more likely the pus in your mouth is from oral gonorrhea and you should see a doctor immediately. And that was it. So then I replied back finally to John S. Thank you for the brilliant feedback, John S. I read your highly intellectual post. Although I'm not a doctor, I think you may have a rectal prolapse. You may want to get that checked out. And that was that. No response from that John S. guy again.
You know, it's funny. I remember when that happened. I do remember that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's one of my favorites, my all-time favorites, actually.
But they altered that review, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, they just kept mine. I mean, no, they kept it as is, but the replies are taken out now. So if you go back and search it, it just has my reply, and that's it, my response. But thankfully, I actually emailed that to you. That's how I found it. I found an old email that I sent to you.
Well, there you have it, folks. The many ways to offer feedback and reviews. Our very own Jeff here. Thank you, Jeff, for the tutelage. So, something to think about here when you're writing reviews, when you're looking at reviews. And that's going to wrap up our show for today. Jeff, please share with our listeners how they can support our channel.
You can like, share, and subscribe. Share the show with everyone that you know. You can email us with feedback or questions or what have you to hilarityenssuespod@gmail.com. Just keep in mind, keep it correct, because I will reply back with a snappy response.
Yes, you will.
Yes. And if you are listening now, please listen all the way to the end so we can get credit for the listen.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. And as always, we may not have all the answers, but we'll definitely make you think. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Hilarity Ensues. Our fantastic music soundtrack is brought to you by TL Music Productions exclusively for Hilarity Ensues. Be sure to connect with us on social media by following Hilarity Ensues Podcast.